Hi there, and welcome to the Week 1 help video for Spanish 101. I mentioned during the video that I posted earlier in the week that I do video announcements, and this is what I kind of depends on the week what I do. Sometimes it's a screencast like this. Other times it might just be like the one that I posted earlier this week that was just a cell phone video of me talking. But this one, with it being the first week and everybody trying to figure out where everything is, I wanted it to be one that was more targeted to getting familiar with the class. These aren't scripted. It's one take. I kind of took the inspiration from the Facebook live videos or Instagram live videos, that kind of thing. So they aren't necessarily streaming live, but they're just a single take, unpolished. So there's a lot more polished videos in our Blackboard shell to help with grammar and that kind of thing. But some weeks I might take the My Spanish Lab assignment that seems to have the lowest average grade, and we'll walk through that together. Other times we might talk about an upcoming assignment type. But again, just please bear with me. They will be a little bit rough sometimes. So, or that you might hear kids or dogs in the background sometimes if I'm recording them at home. But I wanted to walk you through a little bit of our Blackboard shell and My Spanish Lab. You've probably already worked your way through a lot of this, but just in case there's anything that you missed that this might help with. So your landing page in our course will always be the announcements. I post announcements at least weekly, usually they're Monday morning sometime, but sometimes I'll post throughout the week if there's pertinent information that needs to go out more frequently. And then, of course, these video announcements I post later in the week. My faculty information is there, syllabus and schedule in this button here. Where you'll spend the most of your time in Blackboard is the assignments. So if you click on assignments right now, you'll only see week 1, but each week will be added as those open up. Here is a link to get to My Spanish Lab. You can, of course, just have it bookmarked on your computer, whatever works best for you, myspanishlab.com. If you go into the week 1 folder, you'll see that along the side here, there's a navigation menu. So it doesn't matter how you navigate if you use these buttons or just click. But this is the basic layout that they'll all follow, although week 1 has a lot more individual items in it because we have the syllabus and schedule and netiquette and all of that. But usually you'll just have the vocabulario, estructuras. Sometimes you'll have a discussion board or a voice activity. The weekly quick writes will be in every week's assignments. But when you go into the vocabulario, you'll see I have additional resources posted here for you. So there's tutorials that you can work through. There are for the vocabulary lessons, I include the MP3 files. So if you'd like to download those and save them to your phone or MP3 player so that you can have them available on the go, that could be helpful for you as you study your vocabulary. And I always tell you down here which of the SAM, student activity manuals, that's what's in My Spanish Lab, which of those activities pertain to this particular lesson. So especially if you're struggling with the content, I recommend reading through the textbook pages that are outlined here, reviewing the supplemental materials that I have posted, and then just going and doing those SAM activities and making sure that you are understanding the material and able to complete those, and then come back and move on to the next lesson. And again, review the supplemental materials and watch any videos that are posted, visit any websites and get extra practice. Hang on just a second. Sorry about that. I had to send the toddler back to bed. But yeah, then come back here and go to the next section, watch the videos, visit the websites, review the material, read the textbook pages, and then go back and do those sections in My Spanish Lab. So that's a good way to break up the material a little bit more and have less confusion about all the different topics that we're covering in a particular week. So that's Blackboard. There's helpful materials and course documents. The culture discussions, they'll always be linked in the weekly folder where they're assigned, but you can also get back to them here, especially if you're going back to post your follow-up comments to classmates after you've done your initial post. It might be easier to get to it from this button here. Your grades are accessible there. And then let's look at My Spanish Lab. My Spanish Lab is actually where you're going to spend the bulk of your time when you're studying for this class. But I always recommend doing what I did, starting with Blackboard first and then coming to My Spanish Lab. Blackboard is the part where I post the majority of what I consider to be helpful information for you. So that's where I've curated videos that I think are helpful to you, or think will be helpful to you. And that's where I post my announcements. That's where you'll see grading feedback. You'll get some grades here in My Spanish Lab, but all of those will eventually be transferred over into Blackboard. And the Blackboard gradebook is where you'll see the most accurate information about your current overall grade in the course. So use Blackboard kind of as the backbone, the core of the class, and then come to My Spanish Lab for doing the individual assignments and activities. So let me go to Student View here so that it looks more like what you're going to see when you log in. So this should look familiar. This should be what you see when you log into the class. And let's see, don't worry too much about how many assignments to do. There's not that many to do right away. That's for the entire semester, apparently. So you can, there's a number of different ways that you can get to your assignments. One thing to keep in mind is if you click on the date on the calendar, the way it first comes up in today's view, it's only going to show you a few, but you'll see down here that's just 4 of 18 assignments. So it'll make it look like you just have those 4 to do, but that's not accurate. My favorite view is go to this assignments drop down and click on to do. And if you look at this view, it will list for you all of the upcoming assignments. And as you scroll down, it'll just, you can load more, and it will continue loading all of the assignments that are due on the next due date, and then continue on. It'll show it when they're all due. It also shows how many attempts you have remaining. So if you have one that you haven't passed yet, you can see how many more tries you get. It'll show whether you've passed it or not started it. And then there's a button right here that you can start it from this view right here. So I really like the to-do list view, but play around with it, decide if you like the to-do list or the course calendar view. Either way is, whatever works best for you as you learn to navigate the course. If you do click on the calendar view and click on the date, then it should show you everything. Yeah, so this way it does pull up everything that's due that day, as opposed to that today's view screen that only shows you 4 assignments. And then grades, of course, this is a good place to come and just see how you're doing on the My Spanish Lab assignments. But like I said, it's not going to be an accurate representation of your whole grade and the way these assignments fit into everything else in the course. Let's see here. There are other materials in here that you can play around with. The tutorials, a lot of times I have those linked in Blackboard anyway, so that might be an easier place to find them. There's verb charts, additional resources. Let's look at the e-text, which is the other primary thing that you'll be doing here in My Spanish Lab. So the e-text, a couple things to keep in mind about the e-text. One is you can access it on the computer like I have pulled up here. You can also access it through an app. So if you have a smartphone or a tablet, you can download the Pearson e-text app and then add our, I think you have to log in with your login information. But you can, basically, I think what it does is it downloads a PDF of the textbook, but then, so it may take up a decent amount of space on your phone, so that could be an issue. But it does then load really fast, which is nice because you may have had some issues with the e-text on the computer loading really slowly. But then a couple advantages to the e-text, the page numbers line up exactly with the print textbooks. If you have a print textbook or following those page numbers in Blackboard, it will match exactly to that. So the other thing that's nice about the e-text is, of course, because it's digital, it has audio. So that is nice to be able to play those. So especially, again, on the app, so that you have it on the go, being able to listen through to the vocabulary can be a nice advantage as well. So keep that in mind. The eText might be a helpful place for you to do your studying. I think that's it for tonight. I apologize for rambling. This is much later than what I had hoped to get this done and out to you, but hopefully this video was useful. Just to reiterate, I'm available. Shoot me an email if you're struggling with anything. If you take a screenshot of what you're struggling with and email that to me, then there's an even better chance that I can get back to you right away because I don't have to wait till I'm at my computer. So I have email on my phone. So when I'm out and about, I'm happy to answer emails. So if you have all the information there, then I will do my best to get back to you right away, because I know when you're sitting down studying, trying to work through things, your schedule is limited. A quick response just helps you be able to keep going and keep moving forward with the class. So let me know anything that I can do to help. I'm glad to have all of you along for the ride, and thanks for all of your patience during week 1. I'm hoping for much smoother sailing for the rest of the semester. So I will see you all online.